I mean, I think it was just like the coach's decision at the end of the day. I mean, I just got in on Friday. Maybe they want to see like a week of practice. There wasn't nothing wrong with me, and so it's just staying ready.
Were you comfortable with what they possibly would have thrown at you in terms of play calls and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty, solid knowledge of this playbook. There's not a lot that's changed. And so just feeling my meanings already through those few days, just whatever they would have thrown at me, I think with the menu that I was given, I would have been prepared for it. So it was just, waiting to see if my number was called.
When were you last year
like for you? Last year of your life, because clearly you were pretty excited about the prospect of free agency.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the injury made things a little bit, interesting for me with my free agency, and then really it was just about just getting healthy. That was the main thing for me throughout this whole year. It was kind of like just grinding to get back to playing football again, going through like another ACL. And if you know anything about that, it's a process. You have to, get your routine. And so it was just a process, every day I just took every day in stride, stayed on my routine. Shout out to my trainers, shout out to my support system for just keeping me level-headed and not letting me get down and just staying up throughout the whole process up to this point.
Can you take us through last week a little bit? When did you get the call to come to Philly, and what were the conversations like with the guys here?
Yeah, so I got the call Thursday morning from my agent and my manager. They told me that Philly needed me to fly in, so I flew in that morning. Got in Thursday night, did the workout and physical and all that stuff Friday, signed on Friday. And then, yeah, it was like, once I was in the building, it was crazy just to see all the people that, I knew and my old teammates, and everyone was kind of excited to see me in the building, even people in the cafeteria, staff members, everything, it's like family being here, I was here when we did something special, so the memories and everything, those will last forever. So, and those relationships as well. So it was just a blessing to just still have that positive reaction when I came back in the building.
Before you signed here,
What was your perception like when you were watching the first few weeks before you were able to come back into this building?
I mean, to be honest, I really didn't try and watch too much football because I knew just my competitiveness. It would just kind of get me kind of upset that I wasn't playing yet. So I tried to just keep my mind on just other things throughout the whole process and just stay on my training. And on Sundays, actually, I would go train myself like during the game times and stuff just so I could not have to focus on watching football.
Before you signed
doubt
here,
that you would play again?
Huh?
Did you ever doubt that you would play again?
No, I knew I would play again. It was just a thing about, patience, I think. It was the biggest thing, and something my parents kept telling me, and my support system as well, is just, even if it wasn't a team where I would go work out or something like that, that perfect team, that perfect fit, it would end up coming, in God's timing and in the right timing. So I think what better situation than being able to come back here to the Eagles, a team that I've had the highest success at with winning the Super Bowl, and a team that, I already know the offense is not a crazy learning curve, and there's a high comfort level here. The fan base here, I love the fan base here, and my teammates, a lot of my teammates are still here, so it's just a crazy way of how this whole year's happened to come back around to being on Philly, but it's definitely a blessing.
You kind of waited until, it seemed like you waited until your knee was fully healthy before you started doing workouts. Like, what kind of feedback were you getting from like other teams when you were, working out for them?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was saying that my workouts were great. It just came down to which teams were just comfortable with, what their situation were, and which teams were comfortable with me physically, and, it ended up coming down to Philly.
What was the timeline like? When were you cleared to work out, play again?
Yeah, so I was cleared, I think I was cleared around like late August, early September, and then it just came down to me just wanting to be in like the most perfect like health position and like with my knee comfort level, with just cutting and doing football moves and all that before I decided to like want to do workouts and stuff, because I wanted to make sure I would put myself in the best situation and I'll put my best foot forward. And so that kind of started happening around like late September, and then like really in October I really started feeling good. So you know, and at the end of the day, just with all my trainers and talking to them, I was really on track with just my rehab and what I was dealing with, everything. So it's been a long process, but you know, this is where it led to, and so I can't be mad at that.
Now you go to Miami this week. How do you feel about the timing of that?
I thought we played the Seahawks at home.
Oh, next week.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that just yet. Yeah.
You have dealt with people sort of questioning your physical fitness before in the draft process too. What is that like to deal with everybody questioning what you can do physically?
I mean, you know, that's what the draft process is for. You know, they do the detailed work and you know, they're investigating everything. So, I mean, it's nothing new. Obviously, throughout my career, until then, I've been very successful on the field, and I've showcased a lot of great talent. So, you know, I don't really try and worry about that too much. I just try and focus on myself. I'm very confident in my ability. I have a high level of self-confidence, and so, you know, I'm just excited to get back on the field and play.
Because of your health, I think those questions are out there. How long do you think you can play this game still?
I mean, I just take it every day at a time, not really looking too far into the future. So, yeah, I just take it a day at a time and count my blessings every time I can step on the field.
Jay, a report came out that the Eagles have had the right of first refusal during the offseason. Are you hoping this kind of goes beyond, you know, 6-7 weeks with the Eagles, and are you thinking that like next year you're in that plan?
I mean, at this point right now, I can't really look too far into the future. You know, obviously that's in my contract. I think a big thing for me is just, you know, using these games that I get, and hopefully playoff games and even further than that, to just showcase what I can do, showcase my ability again to this team, that I can be, you know, a great contributor to the offense, showcase to my teammates, showcase to the fans, showcase to the rest of the NFL. So I think it's just an exciting prospect of me, you know, just to get back on the field. You know, it's been a long time since I played football in my mind, and so I'm just excited to just get back out there and just, you know, showcase who I am and what the J Train can do.
Do we have one
In
more
the last
for him,
in
and
the,
then
in
we'll
the
wrap it up?
last game that you played, I remember you talked to us like at your locker afterwards, you know, standing up just like this.
Right.
I mean, it seemed fun to us. Like, did you know it was at that time it was that bad?
I mean, you got adrenaline rushing and all type of things, so I didn't really I knew like my knee was hurting and something was going on with it, but obviously you don't want to put that in your mind until you know for sure. So I didn't really have a clue until I did my MRI that following morning, and then obviously the news was that I tore my ACL.
Yeah, and obviously you were surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate, you know, to say the least.
I mean, obviously, you know, we lost the game. It was frustrating. You know, I just think that right now, I think that everybody just needs to take accountability for the way they're playing. It's the only way I know how to get better. And you just try and focus on, you know, what you can do to improve and what you can do to do your job better.
What didn't you like about the way you played on Sunday in particular? Can you share?
You know, I think we could have passed off games a lot more efficiently and given Carson some more time in that regard. Running game, I don't think anybody individually was bad, especially in the first half. We were doing a pretty good job running the ball. Just seeing the second half, you know, everybody kind of took their turn. You know, I think it's a frustrating game, especially when you have that type of performance offensively.
I know you can't comment on a tackle's technique or anything, but it sounds like Andre's going to move to the right side, play there. What's the challenge just in general and what have you seen from him, I guess, as far as, you know, work ethic and just intelligence and just the ability to make that move? Because I know he hasn't gotten a lot of reps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that, you know, all the backup guys get reps trying to do both sides. Something you got to be ready for. You know, obviously most of Andre's work has been at the left side, especially with JP out recently. So I think in the heat of the game, I think stout for sure. felt that Big V had more work on the right side. So I think, Andre's, he's a tackle by trade, and there's a little bit of a difference and a little bit of balance and body control that you have to get used to going to the right side. But, I think, he'll be able to get it done. He's a really athletic kid.
Could you, I guess, revisit what Dirk was talking about when you said that accountability? I'm sorry, I kind of spaced out on that.
Sure.
What were you? Can you be more specific? Were you talking about the offensive line in particular? Were you talking about yourself? Were you talking about you guys as a group?
Well, he was asking about my comments after the game, in which case were about myself. I think everybody needs to be critical of themselves, players, coaches. I think that's the only way that that you start winning games. I think that's what good teams do, good players do. And for me, it's easy to look at it from my perspective. Doesn't mean I don't look at the whole picture and whatnot, but I really firmly believe that as long as everybody just improves their game just a little bit, as long as everybody's doing their job just a little bit better, that everything else will take care of itself.
That's what happened at the end of 2018 and for pretty much all of 2017.
Yeah.
You talked about that about this time last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same sort of scenario?
Yeah, I think it's really easy to make this game, more complicated than it is. At the end of the day, it comes down to, guys executing their assignments, and, when there's a play to be made and there's a block to be made and I have a chance to get that done, I need to do it. And I think for me, I haven't been doing that at the level that I enjoy, and I didn't do it against the Patriots well enough to win the game. And that's all I'm focused on, is just trying to, get better individually each day. And I think that as long as everybody takes that mindset, that's what this is about.
How difficult has it been to be out for these weeks?
It's been difficult. I mean, not being able to out there to contribute with the team. It's obviously tough, but I think our young guys are doing well. So, we just got to keep motivating them and keep it going until the time I can come
How
back.
much have you helped basically coach up these young guys? And even Bruce, you played with for a number of years now.
Oh, man. We obviously, watch film together, go over things, just try to look at keys, what we could pick up quick, give them insight on things that they can do and things that they could see out there on the field. To give them some recognition of what's coming next.
Nigel, you know what's waiting on Sunday. Russell Wilson, describe what it's like to play against somebody like that.
Obviously, he's a great quarterback, a guy who's a dual threat, has both abilities, being able to run and also being able to throw. He's obviously we got to keep him contained, but we can't just let him sit in the pocket either, because he's really good at both. So that's going to be the key for us this week.
In these past few weeks, Nate stepped in as the signal caller. Is that kind of a role you want back, or are you okay with him calling the signals?
I think I don't know how to answer that.
Without giving away strategy?
Nate's been doing a great job. He's a very smart guy. He's stepped up, which when time was needed, and which he's been doing. He's been making plays for us, and I think that's going to continue for however long it needs to continue.
What do you see the defense doing better these last several weeks? The results have obviously been much better, but what's inside that? What's been better?
I think all around everything. We've been able to get pressure on the quarterbacks. Everybody's doing a better job of tackling. In the back end, we've been making plays on the ball. I think it's all just coming together. We got a lot of guys back from injuries, and everything's just starting to fold back together.
Nigel, how do you when you play somebody like Russell, who he's not traditionally, he'll back up 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, how do you not get frustrated?
It's just all about keeping your composure, man. You gotta have some great patience when you play a guy like that, and just also being able to stay in coverage, because he's always going to be looking to throw. Even when he's dropping, he's scrambling, he's always looking to throw first, and then he always scrambles second or run second.
Is it like tackling a bowl of soup? Everything kind of just goes through your fingers?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. He's just an elusive guy. So you just got to tackle him like he's a running back.